Okay, this time I'll talk about the problem, a game. So in this problem, we will use dynamic programming along with some basic recursion to test out the maximum score for player 1 if both player 1 and player 2 play their optimal move. So in this code, we will make a 3D array. So the first part will keep track of the part for the this will keep track of the left side of the array. This is the right side of the array, and this is the count of which move we're currently at. So first we'll set everything to -1, meaning that we didn't find any optimal move yet, so we cannot use this current array. And here I will reading the input, and also I'll add all the input together to get the total score that we can get, because in this function that we'll use here, this will find the maximum score for player 1. So we also need to print out the score for player 2, which is just the sum minus the current score for player 1. So here it will receive 3 inputs. The first part is the left side of the array. The second part is the right side of the array, and this last variable is the it counts which step we're currently at. So because this says that you can either remove the left side or the right side, every time we remove the left side, we'll just increase the left by 1, and every time we remove 1 from the right side, we'll just decrease right by 1. And so this is what this code does. So first it will check if this current position has been visited in the dynamic programming array. If it was visited, then you can just return this. You don't want to loop through it again. This will have a bunch of overlapping stuff. So we'll store these into the dynamic programming array. And also if L is equal to R, this means we cannot both either deleting L or deleting R will be the same thing if they're equal. So we will just test these. The first part just checks if f is even or odd. If it's even, this means it's player 2's turn. And if it's odd, it means this is player 1's turn. So since we're only getting the maximum score for player 1, we will only return AL if this is player 1's turn. If it's player 2's turn, we will just return 0 because player 1 won't get any score when player 2 is making a move. And so this is the part where we will get the actual DP, and this will first check if also if f is even or odd. If it's even, then it is player 1's turn. If it's odd, it's player 2's turn. So this first checks if it's player 2's turn. So if it's player 2's turn, we won't add anything to our maximum score, but we will check which one is better for player 2. So player 2 will either take 1 from the left, which will then increase left by 1, or take 1 from the right, which will decrease right by 1. And we will find the minimum for this, because this will get the score that player 1 will get if player 2 takes 1 from the left. And this will get the maximum score that player 1 will get if player 2 takes 1 from the right. So player 2 will always want to take the one that will give player 1 the smallest score possible for this current position. So we will get the minimum one since this is player 2's turn, and it will always take the smaller one. And if it's player 1's turn, then we will want to get the maximum one for player 1. So player 1 can either take 1 from the left, but here we have to increase this search by AL as well. This means that we're actually increasing the score for player 1. Or we can make player 1 take 1 from the rightmost side of this array, and we'll decrease R by 1 instead. And finally, we will either have player 1's move, player 2's move, or player 1's move. So we will just return this current array, and we will just keep on using this recursion. We will always stop whenever we already visited this L, R, and F, or if L is equal to R. So in this turn, this is our base case. We will just return either one of this. And so here, our beginning L, we can take either the leftmost one from the array, which starts at 0, and or the rightmost of the array, which starts at n-1. And also f currently is equal to 0. So we start at 0 because this will give us the one that which player 1 picks first. If you want player 2 to pick first, you can just change this to 1. But here the question asks for player 1 picking first, so we will get this. And then we will have the maximum score for player 1. And after this, you just print out the total score minus the score that player 1 has, and you'll get the score of player 2.